So we'll call the meeting to order. I'll do the roll call first. I see Mr. Pete. Thank you.
I'm here somewhere.
Yes, you are. I see Jeff's in attendance. It's on a train somewhere. And then staff, Sarah, Paul, Jay, thank you. And we have people from the public attending tonight, Darlene?
We do. If you'd like to speak, can you please raise your hand electronically and I will unmute you one at a time? If anybody would like to speak, can you please raise your hand electronically? We have no one raising their hand.
No one, okay, no comments?
Aren't there several?
Hold on,
Really?
no, now we do. Wait. Sorry. Okay, James, I'm gonna unmute you.
Hi, my name's James Gallagher. I'm on the corner of Gregory and Wallace, and I'm on the call today just to get a sense for what's going on. We had stakes go in the ground on Wallace last week. Just wanted to see what that's about.
Thank you, James. Anybody else?
Yes, it's under Nora Cove. You are unmuted. Could you please state your name for the record as well?
Yes, my name is Michael Garvey. Sorry, I'm on my work computer. I also live on Wallace Avenue, on 16 Wallace Avenue. Same concerns as Mr. Gallagher. Wanted to understand about the stakes on the street that were just put in about a week or two ago. Want to know what the deal was and what the plan was and any and all information about them.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else, Darlene?
No, there is not.
Okay, so to answer both questions pertain to the stakes that are going into the ground. Those typically mark the locations for new tree plantings.
Yep, and I can cover more information in the fall planting updates section, Rich.
So Sarah, on those particular stakes, are they all on city land or are they on private land?
Yeah, there. Sorry, I was waiting to see if you're gonna go to the acceptance of minutes first, or we can jump to this item. That's totally fine with me. All right, so I have received a number of service requests and calls and emails from folks in the Marvin Beach area. I was unfortunately out last week when all that was happening, but yeah, just to kind of explain how the tree planting program works, and I've started to respond to some folks, but haven't gotten back to everybody. So the way that we're running figuring out our planting locations for this year is that the city is still in the process of finishing a citywide tree inventory where a consultant is going out and actually putting into a GIS system every single tree that's in the city with its species and other information. And when they were completing the tree inventory in certain areas where we have very low tree canopy cover, so not as many trees in those areas, that includes Marvin Beach and East Norwalk, they also input sites that might be good for tree planting, so potential planting sites. And so my crew this summer has been going off of that list of locations. And so just so everyone knows, that's how, Marvin Beach was identified as a planting location. But Paul Sotnick, who's been working on the tree planting program for a very long time, and the tree advisory committee, We have a previous tree liaison and some others in that area that have been involved in previous plantings, both within the right of way and some adopt a tree private plantings. So I'm trying to get in contact with some folks from the neighborhood that have been involved with the program in the past to kind of discuss, but I've heard everybody's concerns about waterfront view, species selection, not wanting fruit on the sidewalk and things like that from something like a crabapple. So we'll be reassessing. We have not staked any new locations there. No plantings are going to proceed until we kind of reassess and ensure that what we are going to plant there is very strategic and takes into account everyone's feedback, such as waterfront views. But we have a very strict standard for how we plant. If you see trees underneath utility wires, it's because they're very small, low growing trees. We ensure that we're not going to block any kind of sight lines. I understand parking can be a concern. We ensure that the trees are not going to grow really wide outward and then cause an issue for parking. So I just also want to kind of clarify that we have a very strict parameters for what we plant and where we plant it.
Sarah, do you have a sort of a contact list where James and Michael are on that list as well?
Yeah, I know that James had a service request in place. I'm not sure about the others, but if you have not already contacted customer service to log your concerns, that's the best way for us to get in contact and follow up.
And Sarah, one of the questions that I had last week too is just, are the trees already ordered? And it's my understanding none of the trees have been ordered at all yet, correct?
At this point in time, yeah, no, there's usually like a couple weeks delay before they're ordered. So nothing will be going forward until we kind of get this sorted out.
Sarah, is it safe to say that the planting probably will be deferred till spring at least, or at least have time to review before a decision is made?
I say we have a lot of time left in the planting season. And again, I have a contact, Jennifer Young, who was the tree liaison for that area. So, I feel positive that we can kind of come up with a plan that's amenable for everybody. But that is kind of a high priority area with some good spots. Maybe we don't need as many as we're staked, but worth taking a look. I don't want folks to think that we're, abandoning it and then suddenly we show up next spring,
Right. Can we keep it as an ongoing item till it's resolved on the agenda?
Surely, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I give the rest of the fall planting update, Rich?
Yes.
So far we have 70 trees that have been ordered. And again, so we're working off of tree requests, primarily, and I'll let Gay talk about the private adopt tree request list. But we've pretty much staked out any public tree requests that pertain to the actual right of way. So those were our first locations that we hit. And now, as I mentioned, we are working off of the potential planting locations from the consultant. So basically my crew is first doing like an aerial imagery check, because a lot of times it's just impervious surface. Like there's no way that we could plant in that area currently. And then they are physically going out and doing all the measurements and all the other things that we do before we choose a site, staking the location. And so again, that list from the inventory is really helping us chug along a lot faster than we normally would be able to. So we have 70 trees ordered. And then between last week and this week, not including the Marvin Beach area, we have 26 more locations staked. So we're close to 100 already, which is really good for not even the end of September.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go to old business, the specifications for the structural soil.
Yeah, I'll hop in. So I emailed Peter and Paul to follow up about potentially creating a city standard specification for structural soils. So I sent over a DOT spec. Paul, please correct me if I'm wrong, but DOT specs that we've used on engineering projects And then, Peter, I also kind of old business is the structural soils being used for the Wall Street project.
Right.
And they just clarified to me that what's in the pits right now is not what the final planting material will be. That's the information that I got.
All right, so I just saw it yesterday. I downloaded it this morning, didn't take a thorough look at it. The question I have for those pits though is, does that same material run under the sidewalks entirely, as I would suspect it does? So the clarification is that while the material in the pits then would be the structural soil that runs continuously under the concrete. And is that actually what happened?
And from what I looked at, when I saw it, there'd be two different materials, because we have our base material that we have for a normal sidewalk. And then obviously you've got the material that you'd like to have for the planting area too. And
Okay,
they
so
are different.
okay, so clarification, structural soils are for under the concrete, not for the trees necessarily. So
But the,
they would be below the base material for the concrete wall?
No, they're two different materials. And where you have a tree pit, you try and put structural soil in the pit. And if it's a little bit outside, but the rest of the sidewalk, you need to
No.
have a different.
Oh, this is where the constructs of the value of structural soil are meeting conflicts. Structural soil belongs under the concrete to hold up the concrete, and then it runs and we replace the soil into the trees, or it could run into the tree pit.
Now, it depends upon the
that's-
type of,
that's-
depends
That's what's
upon the
happening
type
on
of
Wall
structural
Street, is my
soil.
understanding. It extends
But-
10, I believe 10 feet out from each side of the pit. But I believe that is in the spec that I sent over.
So
Yeah,
clarity of what actually was constructed there would be helpful, because the structural soils are purposely designed to hold the concrete. So we can have tree roots grow under the concrete into the matrix of the soils. So
I want to see what the definition of structural soil is too, because there can be definitions that are different based on the spec. So we need to see what the spec is. And as Sarah said, we'd like to come up with a standard DOT format spec that we can use every time, but the material has to be defined.
correct, and we usually start with the Cornell mix for structural soils, and there are deviations. But so that's why I'm bringing it up, because we do need clarity on what the purpose of the structural soils are. And the purpose is to provide tree growth medium below concrete walks, so they're not compacted to a point where tree roots can't expand. I mean, that's the purpose of structural soils, among other supporting mechanisms to support concretes and roadways. So that's why I'm going to broaden the understanding, and I think the committee needs to do that. So this is a good start. This is a good start to doing it.
And there's two different functions too. One is to support the concrete with the tree. And there's other areas where you wouldn't use your normal base material
Yes.
that's not going to ever get tree roots.
So we'll continue, but I just got the stuff now. We'll continue that discussion.
We'll take a look at it. And yeah, we have to, it would be great to come up with a standard spec so that way there it can be used. All the projects that get done, regardless of the department, it would be good definitely to have
No,
that.
we actually want to get it into your standard roadway guides, which I actually just downloaded again today.
Yes. Yeah, we can work together on that, Peter. We'll come up with something and then we can put together our final spec. That way there, everybody's got it.
So we'll continue this one. That's an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
But that's good though. It's a good start.
And also too, that'll lead to modifying the details too. So it'll be a package that'll go together, standard details as well as the spec that will be used with those details for projects that go out to bid.
We want to see trees grow.
And not cause other problems because the roots aren't getting where they should go. They're going out into the road and doing things. You want the roots to go where they should be able to go and also get water.
Exactly.
No, it's fine. I'd rather talk about it, spend the time on that.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to new business. Landscape plan for Richards Avenue, West Cedar and the roundabout.
So I'm gonna type up from here. So basically, as we know, there's a new roundabout scheduled to be built on Richards Avenue and West Cedar Street near the Norwell Community College. So the roundabout will be started after the West Cedar Street Bridge project is completed. So I've been working with Ben Young, who is a senior traffic engineer with the Department of Transportation. When I heard about the roundabout, which was early this year, I had asked if some green areas could be included in the construction. Early this week, drawings were sent and there was a green spot in the center of the roundabout. As of now, that's all that can be confirmed. So I will be attending the scheduled public meeting. The meeting will be next Tuesday, September 30th at 5:30 p.m. It's hosted at the community, at the, in the community, at the community theater in the East Campus building of, the Connecticut State Community College in Norwalk. It's right on Richards Avenue. Where they're gonna be sharing the concept of the design plan and collecting community feedback with the support of the city's engineering design consultant. So I'm gonna be attending the meeting with Sarah, right? You're coming on September 30th. You just talked about this now.
But yeah.
Talking about this now, with Sarah on September 30th, where I will have the following questions to ask. Regarding the green area on the map, I want them to provide some information on the dimensions of the area designated as green, the type of soil, which we were just talking about. Will it be using current soil or new topsoil? Will drainage be available? Is the area directly on the ground or enclosed in cement? Will there be caring and maintenance of the greenery, for example, watering and trimming? What are the height requirements for the shrubs or trees or sightline needs? Does our committee have input for species, native trees or shrubs or flowers? And that's pretty much it. I also would like some feedback from the committee. We can discuss it now or send along some information via email. So let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah, so they're unveiling or showing the first concept design
First
or
concept,
secondary
it's
concept?
literally nothing but a simple drawing at this stage. It doesn't have
Just a rendering,
dimensions.
yeah.
It's a rendering, doesn't have any information, any details. I think they're encouraging the public to come and ask the questions. Let's have dimensions in particular about this. So they seem to be open to the idea of the fact that there was a green circle in the middle. I assume that's the green area. Is good that he listened to me in the beginning with all the complaining and our thoughts about it. So at least there's a green spot. So I'm optimistic about that. I don't have any more information about it till we go, we hear the presentation, and then I'll ask some questions. So my
One of the
questions,
One of the things too is they'd asked me to attend to transportation, mobility and parking is doing the project, as Gay had said. And I've been working with the Assistant Director, Garrett Bilella, as well as Ben. We are going to make sure that when we finish the bridge project, which ends at about the west driveway of the college, we will be matching up with paving so that there's a smooth transition and we don't have any pieces of old pavement left in between, things like that. So we'll quote unquote marry the projects up together so that they end up going through seamlessly.
Now, my understanding with structural soils, if they have a green island, they're not gonna want structural soils beneath the roadway because they don't want to encourage roots to grow there. So Gabe, when you get the dimensions of that green spot, it's important to know that they're probably going to limit any root development within that dimension, which is probably going to determine the size of the plant and or tree
okay,
that can be accommodated into that size dimension.
okay.
I can't imagine it being overly big if it's a rotary island.
Well, just one point, Gay. I think we talked about water last time you mentioned it. Watering versus will water be available? And that comes to a water supply source that's available for long-term use. That's a
Okay.
question. Who pays for it and how it gets metered, the complications. But is it available is a question.
Okay.
And just sort of as if anyone wanted to Google Earth, by happenstance, I was in Poughkeepsie yesterday for meetings. And Route 55 from the Taconic to Poughkeepsie, I don't know the name of the town there, but there's a little town that has 3 rotaries in sequence. I don't think they're a quarter mile apart. It would just be something interesting to look at to see how they impact urban design. There's also 2 that went into the Vassar College Raymond Avenue project that had not been there 20 years ago. So it's just something the committee might want to Google Earth and, take a street view to see how they look in the context.
And where's it, what time is that in again?
It's in Poughkeepsie along Route 55 from Taconic
That's where it's
to
located.
Route
Okay.
9, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at the name of the town on the map and I'll let you know, but it was kind of interesting because I had not been up there for 20 years. And it's definitely interesting. They are functional. I mean, they are functional.
My understanding, just from looking it up, is the difference between a roundabout and a rotary, which I wasn't aware of the difference before in size. And a roundabout tends to be smaller, and sometimes they allow for a green spot to be in there, and it's how they're designing the traffic when you come in there. In a roundabout, you kind of look both ways, and then you sort of go in. In a rotary, it's kind of everyone's coming at the same time. At least that's what it says online. So I'd be interested to hear what they say is the definition.
It may have to do with the scale, Paul, the size of diameter.
Right, I think a roundabout tends to be smaller.
Yeah, I'd want to see the final plans because as Gay had mentioned, the only thing that's been shown so far is the concept or rendering drawing. I haven't seen any engineering drawings at all yet.
Okay. Is that usually how it works? They wait for the public feedback?
Well, you try because you don't want to get too far along in the design and then
Right.
have things that you can't include later. So you want to go ahead and you want to get the public feedback and input. So as you go through the design, you can get to your 30 and 60% designs instead of getting to 90 and then having to go redo everything because
Right.
there's complaints from the residents, things like that. So you want to start early. Because remember, every time you're doing those drawings where you're doing cross sections, profiles, and everything of the road, you're paying engineering companies to put those together for you. So you don't want to do it 3 times.
Right, you don't have the overtime, right? Okay. Well, if anyone else thinks of anything, shoot me an email, please.
Yeah, and then we can put it on the agenda for next month, and I can attach the plan to make sure everyone can view it. Is that?
Right, that's a
Right.
good idea, but this is for the next
Yeah.
Tuesday's meeting in particular, if we're missing anything.
Yeah, just to follow up, like,
Yes.
that sounds good.
Thank you, Gay.
Thank you.
We'll move over to Tree Alliance. I don't know if Jeff, if you got a signal, if you're with us. Must not have a signal. He said it was spotty. I know he's on the train.
Yes.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, there you go.
I'm off the train now, but yeah. So no real news from the Norwalk Tree Alliance. Jeff Sherry with the president with the Norwalk Tree Alliance. I'm just happy to report since last time we recorded that we've eclipsed 300 trees this year, which is
Hey.
a record for us. So just thank you for the continued support to Norwalk residents and giving us locations to plant. Keep it up, and we are still here planting, so we expect that number to grow a bit. And we obviously will continue that into the spring planting. So anyone that hasn't received a tree this year will you'll be on the list for spring. So that's happy news, and we're looking forward to the Touch a Truck event this Saturday.
Great.
Right. Yeah, we'll bring that up just for everybody to remind everybody that the Touch a Truck event is on Saturday, the 27th from 9 to 12. And Tree Advisory Committee, Gay has graciously volunteered to be at the booth for handouts and any information. If anybody else is interested in coming, please come. And we'll have a lot of the usual things plus some new things this year that we haven't had in the past. So it's a great event. People to see what the Department of Public Works, police, fire do, and other departments within the city.
Okay, you got it covered, Gay, or what?
Yeah.
You got it covered?
Yes,
All right.
I'm fine, thank you.
So I don't need to come down there and help you.
No, it's okay.
Come on, Peter, come on down.
Yeah, come on down, Peter.
I think I think I can find things to do.
There's usually free popcorn.
Oh, there you go.
You have coffee? That's more important.
And coffee, yes.
Oh, coffee. I see.
Oh, is there free coffee?
Rich, we didn't, like officially touch on the acceptance of minutes. If we're able to do that before we adjourn.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna hop off. Thanks, everyone. Sorry.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Congratulations on the tree planting.
Thank you, yeah, and likewise, keep it up.
So we'll
There are-
go
there are-
over the minutes for last month's meeting, and I looked at them. I wasn't in attendance, but they look good to me.
Am I looking at the wrong ones? New business.
No, we skipped over it. We didn't have a quorum. So we're going back to reviewing the minutes.
Let me just see. I saw an issue. What's under new business on that? New business is our old new businesses. Did I look at the wrong one?
The new business is the landscape plan for Richards Avenue, West Cedar, the roundabout that we just did.
Okay, I downloaded the wrong one. I'm sorry. Okay,
All right, I'm sorry.
because new business was something I brought up a year ago.
That's not
I
new.
read the wrong meeting minutes, so I can't approve them.
So looking to accept the minutes from the August meeting,
You need a motion or you're gonna read the minutes?
looking for a motion if everybody had a chance to look them over.
I'll make a motion to accept those meeting minutes.
I
Second,
second it.
minutes approved. Thank you, Sonia. Good to see
You're
you.
welcome. Thanks.
I can't approve them because I didn't read them.
No, I said Peter abstained.
I don't know, Peter.
And now doing a motion for adjournment
Oh,
then.
wait. I got one quick question, and I'm sorry I
Go
jumped.
right
in.
ahead.
I actually lost track of time, but I got a call today from a very upset woman who, if you want to pretend we didn't even have this conversation, I'm okay with that as well. She said she's been, it's 32 Union Avenue. She says she's been trying to get in touch with you, Paul, for almost 2 years, and with you, Sarah, for the past few months.
I made her happy at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Me and Wardell are all good.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to her. I talked to her this morning.
Okay. Cause I'm like, oh my God, it was a free tree. Stop it.
No, it's all good now. It's all settled.
Okay. All right.
Sorry you get the complaints, Sonia.
You know, it's like,
No, all settled.
all right. Long as she didn't even call me to tell me she got it resolved. And I told her, I said, well, I have a meeting tonight. I said, so I'll bring it up at the meeting, at the end of the meeting. And she didn't even bother to call me to tell me that she got it or everything handled.
Yeah.
She could probably tell I was annoyed with her because I was like, it's a free tree. Spray the bees and leave me alone.
Well,
At 8:30 tomorrow morning, so.
Well, you bring up a point. So I've got 3 calls. I've gotten 3 calls on the tree on Gregory Avenue. So I don't know much about it. So I'll have to follow up with Chris.
Yeah, I looked at
Yeah.
that thing.
I got 3 people called me and want to know what the deal is. And I'm not able to answer.
There'll be a public hearing tomorrow night where people will get the information.
Well, who wants to take it down? Is the Tree Alliance trying to take it down,
Yeah.
or someone else is trying to take it down?
We really shouldn't get into that here. We'll go through it tomorrow night.
Okay.
It's related to a project, but it'll all be
Oh, okay,
discussed tomorrow
okay.
night at the public hearing.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get on. I do have something for tomorrow night, but I think it starts at 7. So
I think
6
it's
o'clock.
6.
yeah, my meeting starts at
Oh.
7.
Yeah,
So I
you
can
should have
probably get
time.
on that. Yeah, I can get on that. Okay, that was the
Okay.
only thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'll reach out to you separately, Sarah. That's the only thing I had.
Okay.
So you want a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Thank you for handling that, Sonia. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next month.
I do.
Take care.